message is tonight. And here's what I want to share with you. And here's something I need you to understand, because I believe that like attracts like. So most likely, if you are connected to me, then most likely you are a kind of person that is servant hearted. In other words, that you're the kind of person that likes to contribute. You're the kind of person that likes to make an impact. As a matter of fact, your friends, your family members, those who are connected with you probably see you as a valuable resource. And so a lot of times, if you have family members in a bind, if you got friends in a bind, they probably pick up the phone and they call you. You're probably that go-to person, the person that people call when they're looking for encouragement, the person that people call when they're looking for resources, the person that people call when they're looking to be supported. But here's what happened. If you continue to pour out, if you continue to help people, if you continue to try to uplift people, but you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not pouring into yourself, then guess what ends up happening? You end up feeling depleted. Guess what ends up happening? You end up feeling tired. Guess what ends up happening? You even end up becoming resentful. And so in other words, what ends up happening is the thing that you have that's a blessing, your ability to be able to encourage people, the fact that you have resources, the fact that you have a lot of wisdom, the fact that you are a kind of person that really likes to serve, that blessing can then become a burden. And so I want to help you from allowing your blessing heart of being a servant, the blessing of you being a kind person, the blessing of you being really supportive, the blessing of you being really, really servant hearted. I want to make sure that you don't allow yourself to get to the place of where you're truly, truly resentful. And so what I want to remind you is that it's great that you're taking the time to encourage people. It's great that you're taking the time to stroke checks and help people with their resources. It's great that you're always looking to uplift and help other people. But let me tell you something. There is somebody that you cannot abandon. There's somebody that you can't leave on that back burner. And that somebody is you. And so what I need you to understand is this, that you literally cannot pour from an empty cup. Listen, many have tried it, but it does not work. And so if you continue to try to pour from an empty cup, if you continue to try to serve from an empty cup, then what ends up happening is not only do you feel depleted, not only do you feel tired, but those people who are counting on you, your friends, your family, your employees, your customers, those people who are counting on you, you end up robbing them of all the things that you're able to share with them and all the great things that you're able to do for them. And so I just want to share something with you. I'm going to be very honest and very transparent here. As many of you know, my wife and I, we have a newborn daughter. As a matter of fact, she just turned 9 months. We're super excited here. And so the crazy thing is, after my wife gave birth to our daughter, when we came home, for those of you who have children, you know that initial stint, when you first come home with the baby, you're talking about literally getting no sleep. You're talking about complete exhaustion. And so my wife is literally recovering from giving birth. I am attempting to do the best that I can to go ahead and fill the gaps. And so I'm making sure that I literally bring the baby over to her so that she can breastfeed the baby. I'm making sure in the middle of the night that I'm grabbing the baby and doing all the things that I can. I'm making sure that I'm doing things around the house. And I'm really just trying to do the best that I can as a new father, knowing that my wife is still in recovery mode. And I've literally just witnessed probably the biggest miracle ever, watching her actually give birth. And so what happened is it just got to a place where literally I found myself, I was literally a couple weeks in, and we were completely sleep deprived. Not just myself, but my wife was sleep deprived. My wife was going through a stint where she was really recovering. She had on and off fevers and all kind of things that were going on. The house was like in chaos. I mean, we were really, really in the trenches. I mean, there was a lot on us, a lot of stress. Even though we were so excited about being new parents, we were just so stressed out and we were completely sleep deprived. And so, listen, we took it for granted when people were talking about, listen, make sure you got help, make sure you got support, and make sure you have so what happened is, because I was trying to serve and because I was trying to help out and because I was trying to do all these things around the house, what ended up happening is being sleep deprived, not eating right, not getting the rest, I ended up literally getting sick. And so I came down with a fever. And so here I am now, I got a fever. My wife goes ahead and we're checking my temperature. I'm clocking like 103 fever. We got a newborn baby. My wife is still recovering herself. My wife needs assistance. We got a newborn baby that needs assistance. And me, I'm attempting to be super dad and try to help out. But now I've come down with a fever and now I need assistance. But even though my body is saying, Andy, slow down, even though my body is saying, take a break, even though my body is saying, wait a second here, I'm attempting to keep going. I'm trying to still go ahead and pour from my cup. But truth be told, my cup is on E. And so here's what happened. I'm ashamed to say this, but this is the truth. Here's what happened. My wife is in the bathroom, and then I go ahead and I have my daughter and I have her on the changing table, and she's laying down on the changing table, and I'm trying to change her diaper. And as I'm changing her diaper, literally, I feel as if the room is starting to spin, and I'm feeling as if I literally am losing my balance. And I literally tell my wife, Cassandra, I need your help. And the moment that I screamed out to her, I literally passed out. Do you hear me? I passed out. Listen, my wife is recovering. We got a newborn baby. The newborn baby is on the diaper table. I'm standing there about to change her diaper, and I literally pass out. My wife starts panicking. She calls an ambulance. The ambulance has to rush over, and they literally have to shake me up. And of course, they've got all kinds of machines and gadgets connected to me and so forth. And I literally have to get hauled off in an ambulance and go to the hospital. Now, when I'm there at the hospital, they run all kinds of tests, EKG, heart tests, brain tests, nerve tests. They're checking everything. And what they discover is nothing more than this, that I just needed some rest, that I was dehydrated. The reason why I had a fever is because I was attempting to pour from an empty cup. My body needed rest. My body needed fluid. My body needed me to slow down, but I was still trying to serve. And what happens is when you're trying to serve from an empty cup, it's only a matter of time before literally that there is a breakdown. It is only a matter of time before you literally break down, and the people who are counting on you are now put in a position where they no longer can count on you. You see, when I was at the hospital, my wife, who was still recovering, she couldn't count on me. When I was at the hospital, my daughter, who was literally just a couple weeks old, she couldn't count on me. Why? Because I was trying to serve from an empty cup. And here's what I need you to understand, that many of you, you're well-intended, you're servant-hearted. You got a lot of people who are counting on you, friends and family members, and you got business associates. Your job is demanding from you. Your husband, your wife is demanding from you. Your children are demanding from you. Your business is demanding from you. Your career is demanding from you. All these different things are pulling on you. And what's happening is, unfortunately, you're not taking the time to first make sure that you pour into yourself. And if you continue to serve from an empty cup long enough, trust me, there will be a breakdown. You're talking to somebody who experienced a significant breakdown. You're talking to somebody who literally tried to serve from an empty cup and caused me to literally have to pass out and end up going to the hospital. Now, listen, here's what I need you to understand. Here's what I need you to do, and this is important. This is key, and I want you to get this. Do me a quick favor, though. Go ahead and hit the share button right now. Hit the share button, because I'm going to share some things, and I know that there's somebody who's connected to you, somebody who's connected to your tribe, and they need to hear what I'm about to say. Here is the key to what it is that you need to do. And this may sound selfish, but it really isn't. I need you to get this. You need to do this first. First, you need to fill your cup first. You need to fill your cup first, and then you need to serve people from the overflow. Listen carefully. You need to fill your cup first, and then you need to serve the people around you from the overflow. What happens is we have it in reverse. Many of us have a cup that's half full. Many of us have a cup that is empty. Many of us have a cup that's about 3/4 full, and we're still trying to serve. And so what happens is when you try to serve from a cup that's empty, you're literally serving while you are suffering. Listen carefully. You are serving while you are suffering. There are people who are trying to serve in their marriage, and they are suffering in their marriage. There are people who are trying to serve their clients, their customers, and they are suffering in the process of serving their customers and their clients. There are people who are trying to serve, whether it's in ministry, in leadership, and all different capacities in their life. They're attempting to serve, but they're serving from an empty cup. And when you do that, listen carefully, when you do that, not only do you miss the mark, but the people that are counting on you, you're cheating them. You're robbing them of what you're capable of. You're robbing them of what they need to do. So you need to really pause for a moment. Here's what you need to do. You need to fill your cup first. I know it sounds selfish, especially for those of you who are really servant-hearted, especially for those of you who are always doing for other people. But I need you to understand this. If you can't take care of yourself first, if you can't make sure that, for those of you who are coaches, who are speakers, if you're not filling your cup first, if you're not studying full, if you're not going to personal development events, if you're not reading books, if you're not doing the things that are required to fill yourself first, then what happens is, in your process of trying to serve your customers and your clients, you will get depleted. And so you're going to rob them, and you're also going to become resentful in the process. For those of you who are mothers, who are husbands, who are fathers, who are wives, and so forth, it's hard for you to go ahead and be able to serve as a wife and serve as a husband, serve your children, and do the things that you need to do in the context of your marriage, in the context of your family, if you're operating from an empty cup. And so you've got to create some time for yourself so that you can do the things that fill you. I don't know what that is for you. For you, that might mean making sure that you spend some time to read. It might means you spend some time getting in your word. It might mean that you spend some time meditating. It might mean that you spend some time getting massages and going to the spa. It might mean that you carve out some time that you tell everybody, no, I can't do anything for you right now. But literally, you've got to take the time to right now, listen carefully, and make sure that you fill your cup first. Somebody do me a favor right now, because I need to make sure that you get this. Go ahead and do me a favor. Put hashtag fill your cup. Hashtag fill your cup. Put that in the comment section right now. And that's just going to be my way and your way of letting me know that you're following me on this. Because listen, especially for the women who are tuning in right now, that perhaps the people who attempt to serve from an empty cup more than anything are women, probably do this most often, because many women are very servant-hearted and they have a desire to keep things together in the household, keep things together in the marriage, keep things together in their careers, keep things together in their business. And so what ends up happening is you're trying to serve, and what you're doing is you're serving from an empty cup. And so I want to give a shout out to some of you right now who just did the hashtag Kimberly, fill your cup. That's right. Jamila, fill your cup. Roz, fill your cup. Jacqueline, fill your cup. That's right. Keisha, fill your cup. Shauna, fill your cup. Dorena, fill your cup. Tanya, fill your cup. You hear me? Cassandra, fill your cup. Janelle, fill your cup. That's right. Claire, fill your cup. Teresa, fill your cup. Ariana, fill your cup. Julissa, fill your cup. That's right. Tiffany, fill your cup. Listen, I know it might sound a little selfish, but listen, you got to fill your cup first, because understand this, that if you don't fill your cup first, if you can't fill your cup first, then here's what ends up happening. You are not able to serve. And so what ends up happening is, you got to understand this. You are one person. And so you can't attempt to be all things to all people. You are one person. Listen carefully what I'm telling you here. You are one person. You cannot try to be all things to all people. At some point, you got to add this word to your vocabulary. You got to learn to say no. All right. Sometimes the most powerful thing that you can do is you could just say no. Now, does it mean that you don't want to serve? Does it mean that you don't want to help out? No, but sometimes you got to learn to say no, because what happens is, all too often, we literally spread ourselves way too thin. And so understand, you are one person. So you're one person. You're trying to be a mom. You're trying to be a dad. You're trying to be a wife. You're trying to be a husband. You're trying to be a CEO. You're trying to be a great employee. You're trying to be this amazing resource for everybody around you. You're trying to pour into everybody around you. And so what happens is, what ends up happening is, you have all these people who are doing withdrawals, and you are literally allowing these withdrawals to happen, and yet there's no deposits being made. And so we all know what happens when you have withdrawals that are taking place and deposits aren't being made. Then what do you think is end up happening? That is what you call overdraft. And so you can literally overdraft your body. You can overdraft your mind. You can overdraft your business. You can overdraft more things than just your bank account. And so understand this, that anything that you're making a withdrawal from, you have to also make sure that you're actually making deposits. And so my question for you is, what kind of deposits are you making in your life? What kind of deposits are you making in your family, in your relationships? What kind of deposits are you making in your marriage? What kind of deposits are you making into your business? What kind of deposits are you making into your dream and your vision? What kind of deposits are you making? Understand this, that you cannot make withdrawals from places in which you are not actually making a deposit. And so what happens is here we are, we're trying so hard and we're making all these withdrawals, but we're not literally carving out time to go ahead and make sure that we're actually making some deposits. And so if you're feeling, you understand what I'm saying right now, do me a favor and just hit the share button, hit the share button. I know many of you already have, but as you hit the share button, put hashtag shared, and that's going to just let me know that you actually took the time to share this message, because I know that there's somebody who is a part of your tribe that needs to hear this. Let me tell you something else that happened to me. As a matter of fact, this is so crazy. But as some of you know, one of the things that I used to do quite a bit of, and I still am a firm believer in investing in real estate. And so I have rental properties that I still hold as part of my portfolio. But there was one point in my life in which I was a full-time investor. And so before I became a full-time speaker, I used to buy homes, fix them, and flip them. And so I remember one particular time there was a house that I purchased, and we're in the process of fixing this home so that we can go ahead and flip it. And we had to go pick up some more materials. We had to go pick up some kitchen cabinets from the local like Home Depot store. And so the kitchen cabinets couldn't fit into my truck. And so I remember calling up one of my good friends and I asked him to go ahead and borrow one of his extra pickup trucks. And he said, Andy, man, no problem. Come by the house. I'll leave the key over there at the house. Just go ahead and get the truck. So I go by his house. I pick up the pickup truck. I drive on over to the local Home Depot or Lowe's, whatever it is at the time. And I back up the truck in, me and somebody else, and they put all the materials and they put the kitchen cabinets in the back of the truck. And so we're on our way, and I'm driving and I'm on my way to the rental property. And the craziest thing happens, the craziest thing, literally the car stops. And I'm like, what in the world is happening? I can't understand why the car stopped. The car won't go. I'm pressing on the gas. Nothing's happening. The car has completely cut off. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? I'm trying to get to this rental property. I got all these humongous boxes on the back of the truck. And the person who's in the car with me is somebody who can't even help me push the car. And I'm like, man, I can't believe this is happening right now. So I literally get out and I start trying to push the truck, and I'm pushing it. And sure enough, some people see me trying to push the truck. They push it, they push it, they push it, and they help me on over to the gas station. Now, when I get to the gas station, there's some mechanics there, and they're all coming around and they're trying to figure out like, what's wrong with this truck? Like, why won't it start? And so they're checking, they're trying to say, maybe it's the starter, maybe it's overheated, maybe it's something going on right now, maybe it's your alternator. And so they're trying to figure out all these things. And lo and behold, here's what you wouldn't believe. I ran out of gas. Now, here's why this was bizarre and this was strange. If you looked at the gas meter, it showed that I had a full tank of gas, but yet the truck was empty. And so I call up my friend. I'm like, listen, man, listen, I was driving your truck. The truck broke down. I'm over here at the gas station. The mechanics checked everything. And lo and behold, the gas tank, the meter says that you got a full tank of gas. And now the gas tank is actually empty. And my friend goes, oh, man, Andy, I forgot to tell you the meter on the gas tank, the meter inside on the dashboard, it doesn't work. And so you never really know exactly how much gas is in the truck. I said, oh, man, you just now telling me this? He's like, yeah. And so I said, man, but this is crazy, because when I look at the gauges, it's telling me that there's a full tank of gas, but yet and still there's nothing in the gas tank. And so here's what I want you to understand. You see, there's a lot of us, because we don't know how to properly assess ourselves. We believe that we're operating on a full tank of gas. And so every day we get up and we think that we got a full tank of gas. We think that we're doing okay. But what we don't realize is that we've been so busy serving. We've been so busy servicing our customers, our clients, our friends, and our family members, and all of these people that we've been servicing, that literally our gas tank is empty. And so even though when you look at the gauge like I did, it appears to be a full tank of gas, you're actually operating on an empty gas tank. And when you do that, eventually, guess what happens? There will be a breakdown. Eventually, you won't be going anywhere. Listen, I was sitting there, I was pressing on that gas, and let me tell you something, I wasn't going anywhere anytime fast. And what I need you to understand is this, is that many of you, you're believing that even though you're depleted and you're tired, you think that the answer is pressing on the gas. And so you're like, I know I'm feeling tired, but I got to keep going. I know I'm feeling tired, but I got to pick up the kids. I know I'm feeling tired, but I got to go ahead and support my husband or my wife. I know I'm feeling tired, but I got to go ahead and be part of this committee and be part of this service. I know I'm feeling tired and exhausted, but I need to bring on new clients and more customers. I know I'm feeling tired and exhausted, but I need to keep growing my business. Well, let me tell you something. If you keep pushing on the gas and there's nothing in the gas tank, trust and believe, you won't be going anywhere anytime soon. And so what you got to learn to do is literally, you need to learn to fill your cup. You need to learn how to literally fill your gas tank. In other words, this deposit account that you have. Here's what I need you to understand. The most valuable account that you have is yourself. I'm talking about more valuable, whatever bank account that you have, savings account that you have. I don't care how much money is in there. I don't care if you got $5 million in there, $20 million in there, $100,000 in there, $50,000 in there, $25,000, whatever you have in your retirement account, whatever you have in your savings account, whatever you have in your most valuable accounts. Listen, the most important account that you have is your personal account. It is you. And if there's any place that you want to go ahead and start making true investments, if there's any place that you want to start really making some deposits, you want to start learning how to make deposits in yourself. Because the only way that you're going to be able to move your vehicle through life, meaning yourself through life, the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you learn how to make deposits. And the reason why I say that, and I'm going to tell you this and I tell you again, you can't make withdrawals where you haven't made deposits. It just doesn't work. It defies the laws, okay? You cannot make withdrawals. You cannot continually make withdrawals from places in which you are not making deposits. And so here's what I need you to understand. I need you to start making deposits. Someone do me a favor right now. Go ahead, put your hands on the keyboard and put hashtag make a deposit. Hashtag make a deposit. Because some of you, you've been pausing, and what's happening is you're so busy serving that you're forgetting to make deposits. And so I need you right now to start making deposits in your life, start making deposits in your marriage, start making deposits in your business, start making deposits in your personal development, start making deposits in your health. You need to start making deposits because these are all the different areas in your life in which you are constantly making withdrawals. And so let me give a shout out to Jalissa, hashtag make a deposit. That's right. Roz, make a deposit. Ariana, make a deposit, right? Darina, Tanya, Clara, Danita, that's right. Make a deposit, hashtag make a deposit. And so what we got to learn to do is at some point, you got to understand that you cannot. That's right, Albert, you got to make a deposit. That's right, Tamara, you got to make a deposit. That's right, Shannon, you got to make a deposit. That's right, Keisha, you got to make a deposit. That's right, Toya, you got to make a deposit. I see you, Glamour, make a deposit. And so at some point, we got to be willing to make deposits. Listen, you cannot make withdrawals in places in life where you haven't taken the time to make a deposit. And so let me tell you why it's so important to do that. And I'm going to help you to get this visual. You see, what happens is when you try to serve people from an empty bank account, when you try to serve people and you are personally depleted, not only are you doing a disservice to yourself, but you're doing a disservice to the very people that you're attempting to serve. Now, follow me on this because I want you to get this. And when I share this little story with you, it's going to really hit home and you're going to really understand. So here's what happens. On an annual basis, me and a group of my friends, we do this really, really cool charity event. We've been doing it now for over 8 years, where there's a couple of elementary schools that are in low socioeconomic areas. And every Christmas, we buy every single kid in 2-3 different schools. We buy all the kids toys for Christmas. And this is something that we've been doing for a long time. And it's just our way of just sort of giving back. And it's been one of those things that's really, really amazing and tremendous. And I encourage you that, you know, whatever sits on your heart that you want to give back and serve, that you continue to do so. But let me help you to understand. So one particular year, I was just making an announcement to friends and family and people that I know. And I was letting them know, hey, listen, once again, you know, we're going to be buying the toys for all these kids. We're going to be buying over 1,500 toys for these kids. You know, the average toy might cost $10. I mean, we're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And so we always ask friends, family members, colleagues, business members, and so forth, if they'll make a contribution. And so I remember making an announcement about this amazing thing that we're doing. And this lady was so kind, so generous. She came up to me and she saw me. She said, Andy, she said, I don't have much, but I love what you're doing to support these children. And she said, so I wrote you a check. And even though you probably can't buy a lot of toys with this check, I want to be able to contribute. I want to be able to serve. And so I want to give you this check. And so she handed me the check. I was like, oh, thank you so much. And so later on, when I looked at the check, she wrote me a check for $10. And I was very grateful for that, because sometimes we're able to find great deals and we're able to buy some toys that are in the $10 range. And so I took her check and all the other checks that I received, and I went ahead and I deposited them. Well, here's what happened. Literally about 3 days later, here's what ends up happening. This lady wrote me a check for $10 and her check bounced. She had insufficient funds for the $10. And because of the fact that her check bounced, the bank charged my account $28 because of the fact that we deposited a check that had insufficient funds. Now, follow me on this. This lady was trying to make a contribution. She was just trying to serve. She was just trying to help. She was trying to pour out from her cup. And the most that she could do was $10. But because of the fact that she was trying to serve from an empty cup, because of the fact that she tried to go ahead and cut a check from a bank account that didn't have the funds, not only was she unable to serve, but she also hurt the people that she was trying to actually help. And so here's what I want you to understand. Write this down. I want you to get this down. Write this down in your notes. When you serve from an empty cup, you literally hurt those that you are trying to serve. I'm going to say that one more time. When you serve from an empty cup, you hurt those that you are trying to serve. And so that's why I need you to understand. There's a lot of times when you see people who come home from a long day's work and they take it out. They take out their frustration and their anger on their marriage, on their husband, on their wife, and literally on their family. The reason why is because they spent the whole day at work trying to serve from an empty cup. The reason why a lot of times when people are working so hard and then they don't have the time to invest with their friends and relationships that most matter, the reason why is because they're going through trying to serve from an empty cup. There's a lot of people, the reason why their businesses begin to dwindle and the reason why they can't serve their customers and their clients and their coaching clients and their audience and so forth is because of the fact that they're trying to serve from an empty cup. And so what I need you to understand is this, that when you serve from an empty cup, you hurt those that you're literally trying to serve. And so it's just one of those things that you got to understand. And so when you're attempting to serve from an empty cup, when you're trying to help people out and you haven't first filled your cup, not only are you doing yourself a disservice, but listen carefully, you are doing a disservice to those that you're looking to serve. And so remember what I told you, and I'm going to repeat this again because you need to hear this. And this is not being selfish. I need you to get this. Go ahead and hit the share button. Hit the share button right now, because even if somebody just catches the tail end of what I'm sharing, hopefully that there's something that's going to resonate with them that's going to help them to get to that next level. Now, here's what I need you to understand. This is the key to it. Now, this is not a matter of being selfish. This is just something I need you to understand. Here's what I need you to do. You need to literally fill your cup first. And when I say fill your cup, I'm talking about fill your cup all the way to the brim. I'm talking about filling your cup to the place in which you can't put anything more in your cup. And then as your cup begins to overflow, boy, I tell you, I wish I had a cup right now. And I wish I had a thing where I go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. But what I'm telling you is I'm talking about for you to fill your cup all the way to the brim. And when it gets filled all the way to the brim, for you to keep pouring in. And from your overflow, that is where you're going to service your customers and your clients. That is where you're going to inspire your audiences. That is where that you're going to write the compelling, the amazing book that's going to touch and impact lives. That is where you're going to show up as an amazing husband and amazing wife. That is where you're going to show up and be able to really do the things that you've been called to do, because you're not riding around on fumes. You're not showing up at 50%, at 30%. You are literally showing up completely full. And so what I need you to understand is this, that if you want to truly show up for your life, if you want to make impact, if you want to be able to grow your business, if you want to be able to show up the way that you want to in your relationships, in your finances, in your health, and all the different aspects of your life, let me tell you right now, the key to it is you want to fill your cup first, and then you want to serve and help everybody else from the overflow. And that is the reason why all of you have been on an airplane before. And I know you've heard this analogy 1,000 times, but sometimes it's great for you to remember that. But that is the very reason why they tell you when you're on an aircraft, in the event that there would be literally a loss of pressure in the cabin, they tell you that the oxygen mask will fall down, and they tell you to put the oxygen mask over your face, and they tell you to just breathe regularly. And then they tell you, if you happen to be flying with somebody else that you want to help out, put your mask on first. And the reason why they say that is because guess what? You can't help nobody out if you passed out. Do you hear me? Listen, who are you going to be able to help out if you are passed out on the floor? Who are you going to help out if you literally are passed out because you didn't have any oxygen? You're not going to be able to help out one other person who is there with you. I'm telling you right now, when we brought our newborn daughter home, and I had that fever, and I was tired, and I was pushing my body, and I ended up passing out, and I was at the hospital, I could not serve my wife, and I could not serve my daughter. Why? Because I was trying to serve from an empty cup. And so what I need you to understand is that you cannot serve, listen carefully, you cannot serve from an empty cup. And so here's what I'm commissioning you to do. Here's what I'm asking you to do. It's very simple. I want you to start carving out some time every single day in which you are going to literally do this, that you're going to fill your cup, whatever that means for you. For some of you, filling your cup means that you're going to make some time to work out every day. For some of you, filling your cup means that you're going to spend some time to read and pour into yourself. For some of you, filling your cup may mean just pausing and going for a walk, or getting a massage, or having a spa day. For some of you, filling your cup means carving out a weekend that you're going to be able to spend with your family and go on a little vacation. For some of you, filling your cup may in fact mean that you're going to cut off from social media and doing some other things and spend a little time for yourself. Whatever fill your cup means to you, you need to do something so that you make sure that you're making deposits in all those areas in your life in which you are constantly making withdrawals. So all I'm asking you to do is fill your cup. So do me a favor one more time before we start going ahead and ending this. Right now, go ahead and do the hashtag fill your cup. Yes, Elisa, that's right. Fill your cup. Yes, I see you, Maria. Hashtag fill your cup. And so right now, you want to make sure that you are filling your cup. And I'm telling you, like attracts like. I know that the people who are tuning in right now, I know that you are servant-hearted. I know that there are people counting on you. You have customers, you have clients, you got spouses, you got family members, you got all these different people who are counting on you. And it's great that they're counting on you. But what I'm trying to tell you is if you want to continue serving them, if you want to continue making an impact, then the key is you got to make sure that you fill your cup. And so absolutely, you want to make sure that you are taking the time to fill your cup. Fill your cup, fill your cup, fill your cup, fill your cup. And don't look at it as being selfish, but rather look at it from a place of this, that you cannot serve people from an empty cup. And so the more full that you are, the reason why the Oprah Winfreys of the world are able to impact and change lives, the reason why the Richard Bransons of the world are able to impact so many lives, the reason why the Steve Harveys of the world are able to impact so many lives, the reason why the Warren Buffetts of the world are able to impact so many lives, the reason why the Bill Gates of the world are able to impact so many lives is because all of those people have one thing in common, and that one thing is that they fill themselves. Those are all people who are voracious readers. Those are all people who surround themselves with positive, like-minded thinking individuals. Those are always people that are seeking to be inspired, that are seeking knowledge, that are seeking information, that are doing things on a daily basis that allows them to fill themselves up first. And then from their overflow, they're able to make an impact. From their overflow, they're changing the world. From their overflow, they're rewriting history. From their overflow, they're making tremendous things happen. And so all I'm asking you to do is I want you to continue to serve. I want you to continue to make an impact. I want you to continue to do the amazing things that you're doing. The only thing I'm asking is that you make yourself a priority, that you learn to fill your cup, because it's the only way that you're going to be able to make the kind of impact that you want to make. And so, like I always tell you, and like I always tell you as a show up for your life, and I want to thank you for joining me on this message. And this is what I always tell you. Listen, you got to show up for your lives, ladies and gentlemen, because if you don't show up for your life, if you don't do the things that you need to do to fill your cup first, and guess what? Nobody else will. And so I want to thank you for joining me. But here's what I want to share with you. I want to give you a resource. I want you guys to get access with me. So just bear with me before we go ahead and end this real quick. Some of you know that what I do is I'm a storytelling coach. I actually help people who are speakers, authors, and coaches and entrepreneurs who are looking to raise their platform, who are looking to attract more high-paying customers and more clients, those who are looking to have more impact with their audiences, those who are really looking to connect with the people that they want to influence before they actually sell them. I help those people to come up with their signature story so that ultimately they can put their story together so that they can have more impact, so that they can make more money, and that they can drive and literally be able to have more income. And so if you literally have something that you want to share with the world, but you want to strengthen your message, you want to be able to strengthen your voice, and you want to be able to put your story together, there's a couple things that I want to do. Number one, I want to extend to you an invitation to take advantage of a free training that I did, which I shared the number one strategy. Literally, this was a training that I did in which I shared the number one strategy to connect with your audience and to literally get your audience to connect with your story. And so you can get access to that free training by simply going to showupforyourlifetv.com. Once again, that is showupforyourlifetv.com. Showupforyourlifetv.com. When you go there, just fill out the really, really quick application. And then what's going to happen is immediately you're going to get the replay access to a training that I did in which literally I shared the number one strategy to get your audience to connect with your story. This is a powerful training, and it's going to show you how to leverage your story, right? So that you can better connect with your customers and your clients, how to leverage your story so that you can attract more of your customers and clients, how to leverage your story so that you can literally be able to create more opportunities for yourself. For those of you that have a desire to be speakers and coaches and so forth, that literally understanding this, that you have to be able to put your message together so that you can actually connect with people. And I believe that one of the best ways to do that is through your story. So here's what I want you to do. Make sure that you do, in fact, open up another browser, go to showupforyourlifetv.com, showupforyourlifetv.com, so that you can go ahead and be able to get access to that. Now, here's something else that I want to tell you about. I'm typing it in right now, so just give me a moment. Okay, so here's the other thing I want to share with you is that literally in 2 weeks, I'm going to be doing a 3-day training in South Florida. And this is a transformational 3-day training for people who are speakers, authors, and coaches who are looking to elevate their brand, who want to be able to develop a strong message so that they can attract more of their customers and more of their clients, so that ultimately they can be able to make and generate more income, they can have more impact and create more opportunities for themselves. And so this training is going to take place down in South Florida from September 7th through the 9th. And I have 2 spots available, 2 spots that are still available for this training. And so if you would like to join me for this training, I want you to do this very quickly before we end our time together. You're going to go to masterstorytelleracademy.com. Once again, you're going to go to masterstorytelleracademy.com. I'm going to say that one more time. masterstorytelleracademy.com. And when you get there, you fill out a super quick application, and then you can set up an appointment to be able to talk to me or literally one of my team members that will give you all the details, and we'll give you all the information you need to see whether or not you're going to be able to join us for our next training. I'm really hoping that you're going to be able to join us. We got 2 slots left, and hopefully you will, in fact, be one of them. And so let me just remind all of you, I'm glad you're serving. I'm glad you're doing some extraordinary things. But let me just remind you, you got to make sure that you fill your cup. You hear me? You got to fill your cup first and serve people from the overflow. I'm glad you're servant-hearted. I'm glad you're growing a team. I'm glad you're growing your business. I'm glad that you're a mother, you're a father, you're a great spouse. You're doing all these amazing things in your life. But I'm telling you right now, if you don't take some time to fill your cup, if you don't take some time to fill your cup, understand this, there will be a breakdown, all right? Because you cannot serve from an empty cup. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot continue to make withdrawals from places that you are not making a deposit. And so, listen, once again, I want to thank you for joining me on the Thursday night Show Up for Your Life motivational live stream. This takes place every Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. This is where you come to allow me to help you to fill your cup, right? I know you're serving. I know you're growing a business. I know you're making great things happen. But come and join me every Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. so I can fill your cup, so I can equip you to get out there and make some great things happen. And so I want to thank every single one of you once again for tuning in and joining me. And as we sign off, let's go ahead and end it like this one more time. Let's do this one more time. Hashtag fill your cup. Hashtag fill your cup. So as you sign up, do hashtag fill your cup. Hashtag fill your cup. And also do me a favor. If you tune in this message and you haven't already done so, hit the share button, because I know there's somebody on your team, there's somebody connected to you, there's somebody in your tribe, there's somebody that you know, I'm aware of this, there's somebody that you know that literally, there's somebody that you know that needs to fill their cup, and they are literally trying to serve from an empty cup. And so hopefully they'll catch some part of this message and they'll decide to go ahead and start investing in themselves. And so that's right. Give a shout out to all of you. I thank all of you. That's right. Fill your cup. Fill your cup. I love it. I love it. Y'all been with me strong with this message. That's what I'm talking about. Sharing it, coming in, doing the hashtags. I see you, Jermaine. I thank all of y'all. I thank you so much for tuning in and joining me. Join me next week. Hit the share button. Hashtag fill your cup. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for tuning in on the Thursday night Show Up for Your Life motivational live stream. I appreciate all of you. Share this message with your friends, with your family members, with your colleagues, with your coworkers, with your team members, because I believe if everybody around you is operating from a full cup, great things begin to happen. Your game is going to elevate, and also the game of all those that are around you. You also want to fill your team and surround yourself with other people who are filling their cup, people who are filling their cup and serving from the overflow. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you joining me. And one more time, for those of you who are interested in joining me in 2 weeks, literally 2 weeks, I got 2 spots left for my Master Storyteller Academy. Let me go ahead and type this in one more time so you know exactly how to get there. MasterStorytellerAcademy.com, Master Storyteller Academy. And so I got 2 slots left. All you got to do is go there real quick. Fill out the quick application, and someone from my team will contact you, and we'll give you all the details so that you can make a quick decision as to whether or not you're going to join us for this transformational 3-day training. And what we're going to do is really hammer down and figure out what your signature story is. This is a hands-on training, interactive, where you get an opportunity to work on, develop your signature story so that ultimately you can be able to get in front of an audience, get in front of your customers and clients, be able to connect with them, relate with them, and be able to move them to the next step. And remember, they're not interested in what the next step is until you can first connect with them. And the best way for you to do that is through your story. So listen, I'll be seeing you same time, same place next week. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good night. All right.